Today we're going to do something exciting for me because it's my son's birthday tomorrow and he wants a Ninjago cake and he's specific about the green Ninjago. So what I'm going to show you today using Pipe Don't Paint is how you can do a picture of a cake or a cartoon character in your Pipe Don't Paint, leave it to dry, then literally pick that picture up, stick it on your cake so you can then fill in with whatever icing you want the inside colours. So basically you're making an outline because it's very, very hard to actually transfer a picture onto your cake so that you can do the outline. So today I'm going to show you how you can do that. Alright, now I've drawn this picture and then enlarged it several times on the computer, and the actual cake is going to be the shape of the Ninjago character. But what I thought I would do first is, if you can see, I don't know if you can see because it's so big, we're actually going to pipe a black outline so that we know when we put it back on the cake what the picture looks like without the stencil being behind. And I'm actually going to fill it in with a product called Dream Whip. I personally would prefer to use buttercream because I think an Italian buttercream tastes nicer. But seeing as though it's for a 6-year-old, and also the fact that the colours of the Lego characters are so vibrant, you don't have any problems putting the colour into your Dream Whip, whereas with a buttercream, because your buttercream is yellow to start with, it's going to change your colours a little bit. So basically the outline's going to be black. We're going to then, because I'm in a hurry and need this done, we're going to then stick it in my oven on the fan and the light to dry out the Pipe Don't Paint ASAP, and then I'm going to, after that, cook the cake because I haven't even cooked the cake yet. Alright, so off we go. First thing I'm going to do is stick my picture down to the board and then stick plastic over the top. Now if you don't have plastic that's big enough, you can use a cellophane sheet. So you want it nice and smooth to make sure that all of any crinkles are out, so it's not going to stretch later on. So now at this point in time I'm not wearing gloves because the gloves and the sticky tape stick together. But I will be putting gloves on in a minute. So I'm going to stick that down so that it's nice and flat. And then we'll stick our plastic on top. You've got to make sure the plastic is big enough for the whole picture. The main reason for sticking is so it doesn't move, and also, as I said, so it's nice and flat, and when you've got it. Alright. Now I've done up a number 4 tube so far, number 4 writing tube with black Pipe Don't Paint, as that's what we're going to start with. But I've also got a number 2 and a number 3 writing tube ready to go as well to do the finer bits. Okay, so then it's just a matter of piping the outline. That's what makes doing cakes with Pipe Don't Paint so easy, because you can just do it flat on plastic. So we're just going to pipe the outline and then leave it to dry, and then basically just go back with our other icing and colour it in once it's on the cake. So you could do this for any sort of cake, and you can use whatever colour you want to outline the design. It doesn't have to be black. I used to use chocolate, but I now find that Pipe Don't Paint works better because you don't have to worry about it melting if it's a hot day, whereas with the chocolate you do. Now all the bits that aren't going to touch, there's no point filling in, but you can fill them in later once it is on the cake. That would be easy enough to do. I was also just using leftover pipe don't paint, so this isn't a full bag that I'm using so far. If you're worrying about how much quantity you will need, it also depends on the size cake you're making. Lots of factors involved, and what size tube you're using to pipe with. Alright, we just need to add some more to our bag. Now I've piped most of the Ninja now. So I'm just finishing off the finer details. I am still doing the bits that are free flowing for the simple fact I'll then just be able to stick them on afterwards, rather than having to repipe them. Be able to stick them on top of the cake. Alright, now because I'm lazy and I don't feel like changing my tube, I'm actually going to, I've got a number 4 piping tube in here. Where's the camera? Number 4. I'm actually going to just put a number 2 over the top because I just want to do these little dots down the bottom. So basically you have to work fairly quickly because it's going to come oozing out the top a bit. Just put in the little dots, connecting them. So that way I don't have to change the tube. Just like that. And then the same on this side. Sort of making this pattern up as I go. I know it's not little dots when you actually enlarge a picture of it, but he's getting little dots. And this way they'll all come off in one piece as well. So you can do this with any sort of tube, even if you're using a big tube, big star tube to pipe something and you want to change it to a writing tube. Just put the tube over the top. As long as you hold it tightly enough, you'll find that you don't actually need to change tubes. It's good if you've only got a little bit of work to do. Alright, so basically there's our Ninja piped with black pipe don't paint. Alright, so we're going to now put it in the oven. I'll show you what I mean by putting it in the oven with no temperature on fan and the light, just to dry it out, and then that way we can leave it. I can cook the cake, cool the cake, and then by the time all that's done this should be dry and ready to go to put on top of the cake, so we can just fill it in with our Dream Whip. So we're placing the Ninja in the oven, so just on the shelf. Middle of the oven, doesn't really matter. Alright, now when we look at the controls, I'm actually got this on this setting, which means it's on light and fan. So you can see that the lights now come on in the oven, and I've made sure that where it's got the temperature setting, it is on 0. If you don't want to cook it, you just want to dry it out. So basically when I shut the oven, the fan and the lights on. Another reason for making sure you stick all your sides down, because the fan's on, you don't want your plastic to be flapping up, because then your picture is not going to stay flat. Alright, and we'll just leave this for a few hours.